Hello everybody, welcome back to the Red Eagle. Before we get started here, I'd like to ask you guys to please like the video and please subscribe to the channel. We're at 17.5k. Can we get to 18k? Help me get there. So hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications before we get started. So now I'd like to talk about the 2016 presidential map for a second. I know it's not exactly something that's in the future, but this is relevant and applicable to 2020 when it comes down to the electoral map and the battleground map. This is what a lot of people, a lot of pundits said that the battleground map was, that it was physically impossible for Donald Trump to get to 270 electoral votes, and they would have been right. Even if Donald Trump won the state of Arizona, Utah, which apparently for some odd reason was a toss-up, the state of Nevada, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, and Maine's 2nd District, that would not be enough for him to get the 270 electoral votes that he needed. But apparently he found a way to do it. There was no path to 270, but there was a path to 306. So they originally started out by saying Trump could not physically possibly hit that 270 electoral vote threshold that he needed. But how did he do it? Well, he didn't win Nevada. He didn't win Nevada. Nevada got closer. He didn't win it. But he did win Arizona and Georgia. He held Arizona, Georgia, and Texas handily. He won the state of Utah because reality is different than what a left-wing pundit on CNN will tell you. And he won Maine's 1st district, or Maine's 2nd district, which was shocking that he became the first Republican in 16 years to win an electoral vote in the Northeast. He won North Carolina, did better than Romney. He won Florida. He won Ohio and Iowa by safe margins. These were expected to go to Trump in the polls, but Trump did not win them by the narrow margins the polls said. Trump won them by extremely wide margins, and that was a little surprising even to me, even though I thought he'd win Ohio and Iowa by 4 or 5 and possibly pick off Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Folks, I did not see him winning by 10 points almost in these states, and these states are trending. Just because they voted blue in the midterms, it doesn't necessarily mean much. By the way, they really didn't. Ohio still elected a Republican governor as well as Iowa, and Ohio's popular vote in the House went Republican. Possibly Iowa's would have if it wasn't for Steve King being there, but that's beside the point. Now, the fact is that these states still voted to the right of the midterms by a significant margin. Now it comes down to hacking the electoral map. What did Trump do to hack it, and why is he going to hack it again? Well, here is what I'm telling you. They said no path to 270. They said it couldn't be done. Well, first of all, Wisconsin is a rural state. This was a sneaky state because the polls showed Hillary winning by 7. Trump was not in the margin of error of any poll conducted in the state. He went there once or twice. Hillary Clinton did not go there at all since the convention, and Trump was able to win it. Why was Trump able to win it? He was able to win it because of the rural vote and the rural trends. Trump focused on these places. He focused on connecting with these places. He didn't spend a whole lot of time in Wisconsin, but Trump spent a lot of time in Michigan and Western Pennsylvania. And people use the turnout excuse. Oh, Wisconsin, Trump got less votes than Romney. True, but Trump got more votes in Pennsylvania than Obama got in 2012, I believe. 2012, Trump did better. He got higher turnout. Turnout was higher in Philadelphia. Turnout was higher in the state of Pennsylvania. Trump still picked it off. A turnout surge will boost Trump. Trump will be able to hack the map again. He'll win Pennsylvania. He will win Wisconsin. And there's a lot of votes that you can gain in the rural part of Michigan. If these trends continue, Michigan's going to be solid. Trust me, Trump will win it probably by 2 to 3%. Now people are going to say, oh, well, demographics are changing in Arizona. They're changing in Texas. They're changing in Georgia. These states are now toss-ups. So even if Trump wins these 3, he's still not going to be able to win these states down here. Well, first of all, Texas voted red in the midterms, and it was kind of a fluke. How much money the Democrats spent. Trust me, Texas is going to go red. It's going to go red by at least 5 points, even on a bad year. Even if Trump does lose, Texas is still going red in 2020. Democrats are literally going to have to win the popular vote by 10 points for Texas to become a blue state in 2020. It's not going to happen, and Trump is already going to win off of that alone. And people also talk about, what about Minnesota? Trump could flip Minnesota. It's very possible he flips it. You have the Iron Range up there. You have Duluth. He could flip some of these counties and do much better in the rural part of the state, even better than he did in 2016. He would have won it if it wasn't for Johnson, if it wasn't for McMullin siphoning votes away. Possibly Minnesota can go. He can afford to lose Arizona and Georgia at this point. But do you really think that Trump is going to lose the state of Arizona? People always talk about the trends. It did trend 4 points red, but Arizona, people seem to forget, it's never really been a solid red state. Bush in 2000 won it by roughly the margin. Trump won it in 2016. People talk about demographics. I don't think demographics is what elected Kyrsten Sinema. I mean, Kyrsten Sinema got 14 to 15% of the Republican vote. That's not enough yet. The only state that you could even make a case for when people talk about demographics and what it's changed is New Mexico. But even when it comes down to New Mexico, Trump still can win the state in 2020. He has to get a lot of the Gary vote. It's a lot of religious conservatives live in the state of New Mexico. It is a rural state, but he'll definitely have to make inroads in the places like Albuquerque, which have grown significantly in the urban centers and the urban areas of New Mexico. But Arizona, for now, is staying red. The state of Georgia. People love to talk about Georgia and how Georgia has become a state that's turning into Virginia, and I agree. Georgia is a state that's becoming more establishmentarian. It's not the old South. It's not so much Alabama or South Carolina, but it's still a red state to its core. It's just establishmentarian. Again, if Ron DeSantis was the nominee, Trump would easily carry, or the Republicans would easily carry Texas by 12 points. They'd carry Georgia by 7 or 8. But Trump's anti-establishment, that turns off a lot of people. Again, not to mention the fact that CNN is headquartered in Georgia. I mean, it definitely, Atlanta has grown so much. Georgia is a state that definitely will stay red, though, at least in 2020, possibly 2024. I do see it flipping potentially after that, but again, we'll see what happens. Parties are going to be entirely different in terms of what positions they take on issues, so we'll see. But it shows that Donald Trump is going to win in 2020 through these states, but there's more states he can add to the map. They're long shots. I don't necessarily say he'll add all of these. New Hampshire, Trump lost by 3,000, didn't spend a whole lot of time there. Again, I think New Hampshire's a state that he can win, especially when Biden's up there thinking that he's in New York or he's in Vermont when he's in New Hampshire. So talking about Maine at large, Trump will go into Maine's 1st district. He'll make it closer. Trump can win Maine at large. He'll have to continue the trends. Again, Maine voted to the right of the country in the midterms, not lest you forget. And Maine's 1st district voted to a likely margin to the left of the country, not a safe margin. That's good news for Donald Trump. Donald Trump can make inroads in Maine. I don't think he's going to flip the 1st district, but he can make it closer, making Maine at large a red state. Rhode Island and Connecticut could be battlegrounds in the future. Massachusetts and Vermont have the potential, but they won't be battlegrounds now. They're just too far ingrained into the Democrat establishment. But one can hope that Elizabeth Warren has done enough to scare some Republicans into flipping into, or scared some Democrats or independents into voting for Trump in 2020. But Massachusetts, Vermont, New Jersey, not going to happen. New Jersey could get within 10. Delaware could get within 10. All Trump has to do is just say, what did Biden do for Delaware? He probably renamed a post office. That's the only thing he did when he was senator from Delaware. But Oregon, not going to flip Washington. Probably not yet. Oregon could get closer. California can get closer. I think that Donald Trump will lose California by less than 25 percentage points. Last time, I think he lost it by 28. I just think that the unpopularity and just angry conservatives will just turn out to vote for him, especially when people talk about the bragging rights of the popular vote. I know it means nothing, but it's possible Trump wins the popular vote. I do think Trump can flip the state of Nevada. He'll have to do better in the rural parts. Reno, I think, is a place he can win at red in the midterms. They still elected statewide officials that were Republican in the midterms, and you had a very weak Republican senator there. You had a very weak Republican gubernatorial candidate running against a very strong Democrat there in Steve Sisolak, who hasn't been that bad. I think a lot of people from New Mexico in my comment section have said, oh, I'm a Republican, but Sisolak's not that bad. That's not going to energize voters to vote against him. So we know that's how it goes in Nevada. We know that Trump can potentially do better there. Rising numbers among Hispanic voters. A lot of people have been talked about in 2016, said Trump will be the Goldwater for Hispanics, and that's completely not true. Trump's going to get in the low 30s. He could get even higher than that. The state of New Mexico, however, I think Trump will do rallies there. I think he can help and potentially flip. It's a long shot, but Trump ceiling, realistic ceiling, 333 to 205. Trump hacked the electoral map once. He could hack it again. He could hack it and prove it that you will have a big, big landslide in 2020. Watch. Might happen, might not, but it's very possible that it can happen. No reason to think otherwise at this point unless the economy fails, which personally, I don't see that happening. So thanks everybody for watching. Please give this video a like. Please comment down below and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, donate to the Patreon, join the Discord. Links in description. And thanks everybody for watching. Red Eagle, out.